There we go. Indeed, 1,000 points for Faye for guessing song and title, song and artist. There we go. Now I am live everywhere. For Leah Hart. Okay, let's get going. Start with some knob hopping. And this Etch A Sketch is 5 years old. Came out in 2020. I'm hoping the knobs come off easily. Oh, good. That's one. God. Adjusting my YouTube camera. Sorry. I'm going to preserve this drawing, Beta. That's why. We're taking it out or cutting it open. Goodness. I knocked down Luke Skywalker. Oh no, Luke. What Luke Skywalker is this? I think this is. I think it's. Hey, Brett. I think it's Return of the Jedi. I've got collection up on the shelf up there. Earlier I knocked out. Yeah, it must be Jedi, or excuse me, Empire Strikes Back. Because this, I've knocked this down. I think it just fell down. But this is a classic Yoda. Empire Strikes Back. Oh, I need to phone all those sounds and sound, but I'll still put my phone in that disturber. Okay, so that's one. Now I'm also going to preserve. So this is a self-portrait that I've done. Preserving this is going to become my profile picture, but I'm also preserving this drawing of the Mona Lisa. Empire Strikes Back when he was Cloud City. Yes, very good. Beta Ray Bill. I'm giving you 5,000 points for knowing that. Points don't mean anything, but I like to give them out. Oh, where is my stuff? Okay, it's in this corner. This one might be easier to pop off. Yeah, nice and easy. Good. No difficult knobs today. Huzzah. Indeed, it is a good, happy Etch A Sketch day to me. Oh, nice and easy. Go straight to cutting now. Meeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'm going to cut my portrait first. Like what I did there? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, you. Well, hey, George. Perfect. All right. The gloves go on. Thanks for the follows. I am 120 followers away, or at least I was, from 97,000 on TikTok, which is awesome. I'm hoping today is Etch A Sketch Day. It is the 65th anniversary of the Etch A Sketch. I am hoping to get to $97,000. What? 97,000 followers on TikTok today. That would be an awesome Etch A Sketch Day gift. Let's give you a better view. Right there. How are you doing? There we go. So the way this Etch A Sketch is built is this red frame is just a shell on top of a box. Yeah, $97,000 would be awesome as well. I wouldn't complain about that. So this red frame is just a shell on top of a box that has all the mechanics in it. For the large Etch A Sketch, I'm going to cut the shell off, and then there's a frame holding the glass in place that I'll pop off and just set the drawing aside. I'll clean out all the powder that does the erasing, remove the drawing mechanism, and when I put it all back together, um, it'll be preserved forever. This self-portrait of mine. This is now, oh boy, I lost track of how many self-portraits I've done by now. Probably half a dozen, probably six. This part doesn't work with, yeah, why even, I'm even answering people's questions before they even bring them up. I've been preserving Etch A Sketches for almost a decade, and this is, well, no, actually, I have a couple of decades, and this is the best method. Yeah, I'm gonna make some thermite silhouette. Yeah, absolutely. I got some, I got some shit to blow up. A late 4th of July. Should have brought out our bingo cards, Faye. David asks, what's inside the Etch A Sketch? So it's very fine aluminum powder, and that's what sticks to the glass. And as you move the knobs, there's a stylus that's moving on the XY axis and scrapes off the powder to create the lines. So to preserve it, I'm cutting it open. I'm going to clean out all the powder inside that does the erasing. So when you turn it over and shake it, that powder fills in the lines you've scraped off. So I'm going to cut it open. I'm going to wash out the aluminum powder, remove the drawing mechanism, glue it back together. Then you could shake it, you could turn the knobs, and it's not going to ruin it. Gave me hers. She's so fired. Yeah, awesome, Lauren World. Yeah, exactly. As well as there's this is actual glass that it sticks to. That's part of the science of it. And there's a plastic frame on top. So if the glass were to break, there's like, how many drawings have I saved so far? I've been preserving Etch A Sketches. I've been drawing on the Etch A Sketch for 30 years. I've got 45 hanging on my wall in my living room, and numerous, I don't know. I've preserved a lot. How many drawings have you saved so far? That I mean, I've done some commission work too. I don't know, at least 100. At least 100, I would say, over the years. No, the image doesn't fade over time because it sticks to the glass forever. The Etch A Sketch came out today is the 65th anniversary of the Etch A Sketch. 65 years ago today, the Etch A Sketch was released by Ohio Art as a toy. I've been drawing on the Etch A Sketch for 30 years. Yeah, 1960. That's why it's a classic toy. You know what? I should have put the link to the Smithsonian article in YouTube Live. Smithsonian Magazine wrote an article about the Etch A Sketch yesterday. They interviewed me. I am the featured artist in the article. So Faye, this is pretty cool. I'm gonna post a video about it later today. Once in a while, I Google Etch A Sketch art, Etch A Sketch artists, just to see if I show up on the first page. I mentioned that, I think, in yesterday's live. I did. I Googled Etch A Sketch artist, and it gave the definition, AI answer. And then it said notable Etch A Sketch artists. And I was number 5 of the 5 they selected. So that's pretty awesome to be a notable Etch A Sketch artist. My oldest drawing, um, when I started drawing in 1995, I used my old Etch A Sketch when I was a kid in the 70s, and I would do multiple drawings on it. And eventually I did a drawing of the Neuschwanstein Castle, and I looked at it, I'm like, you know what? I want to save this one. And so that's my oldest drawing on the original Etch A Sketch I drew on, and I would say that was around 1997. Hey, Soy Jason, I am cutting this open. I'm going to preserve this drawing by cutting it open and removing all the powder. That was a question on YouTube, what I'm doing. I'm going to remove all the powder that does the erasing. So what I'll do is I'm going to cut it open. I'm going to cut out the insides, but then I'm going to stop the lives. I'm on live on YouTube and TikTok. I'm going to stop the lives. I'm going to go wash them out. I dump them out outside because the powder's very fine. It poofs in the air and it gets all over, and I don't want to breathe any of that. So I'll take it outside, wear a mask, and then I didn't say Jason. I said Justin. So, I would say prove me wrong, but this live's going to be available to go back. I'm going to listen to it myself. Right. I'd say just Jason. Soy Jason. I said Justin. Hmm. Oh well. Now I'm going to listen back later to see if I actually said that. 11 minutes in. Mhm. Happy Etch A Sketch Day to everybody. Anniversary of the Etch A Sketch today. If you're not following me, oh, look at the follows. Thanks for the follows. If you're not following me on TikTok yet, I'm trying to get to 97,000 today. I have just over 100 left to go before I get there. I'll be doing some drawing later with some requests. Typically, my lives, I do drawings on the small ones. No, actually, I've tried different methods. This is the easiest way. This is the most This is the cleanest way to get a nice clean cut, nice and smooth. This is the easiest way. Tried different methods. I've been preserving for 20 plus years and doing it this way for the last 10 years. And I've even experimented with other things lately, but it still comes right back to this. I did say Jason? Oh, you checked. Okay, bye. Bye, Jason. He's saying I got to go. Bye. So I'm going to say goodbye, Jason. Thank you for checking for me, Faye. Now I don't have to later. Yeah, I did. Yeah, this is Mona Lisa on the mini. Etch a Sketch. Someone on TikTok said you drew the mini. Yeah, I sure did. So I'm going to preserve it and put it with my collection. I have a collection of classical paintings. I've got Persistence of Memory, which is people know the Melting Clocks painting. Starry Night. Those are two others that I've preserved. And then when I preserve the pocket size, I put them in these frames. So I'm not going to do that with this one. I'm going to keep this one out, maybe put wires on the back to hang it. But for the pocket-sized Mona Lisa, oh goodness, sorry, microphone. I'm going to put it in a shadow box like this. How do I do which part, David? On TikTok says, how you do that? How do I make the drawings? Turn the knobs. One goes vertical, one goes horizontal, and it makes a drawing. I've just learned that my hands can. I'll think about the drawing and I'll just have it. That RM 250. I am cutting it. Says, why are you cutting it? I'm cutting it because I'm going to clean it out. I'm preserving this drawing. I'm going to clean out all the powder that's inside that does the erasing, remove the drawing mechanism. That way, when I glue it back together, you could shake it, turn the knobs, and it's not going to ruin the drawing. This is a self-portrait, a 10-hour drawing that I worked on 1 hour at a time, self-portrait. I'm going to be posting the full time lapse later today. And I want to keep it. It's going to become my new profile picture. After I preserve it, when I insert, it's going to really make the lines pop it. Why am I shaving the plastic? Well, I'm cutting it open so I can preserve it. That looks like a razor, right? This is actually a saw. This is actually called an X-Acto saw. It has very fine teeth. This is not a blade. It's actually a saw. Preserving Etch A Sketches. That's what I'm doing. So I'm going to cut off the red frame first. And then I'll take out, remove the drawing, set it aside safely. Then I'll clean out the insides, glue it back together, and it'll be preserved. So what'll happen with the lives, I'll stop the live when I've got them both cut open. I'm cutting this one open too. Is it hard? Is it hard to what? Preserving just takes time. It's not too hard. It's through. This will be halfway done with this one. Seven years. I like how when you read the comments, you read the improper English comments. You read when you read them. Uh, yeah, it's true. I would like to, I want to properly translate things. I'm also live on YouTube, and they can't see the comments on TikTok, so I definitely have to read it as uh, as I read it. Thanks for the follows. I'm so close to 97,000. Today's Etch A Sketch Day. It's the 65th anniversary of the Etch A Sketch. I'll be doing some drawing live later with requests. For now, I'm preserving. But yeah, hey, Journey. Well, hi, Jessica Nolan. Good to see you on YouTube. So yeah, I'm on both YouTube and TikTok. And this is usually a very popular. Oh yeah, I'm up to 300 now on TikTok. Everybody likes to see the cutting. For 7 years, I would cut it without a glove, and people would be like, "Oh, you should wear a glove." I'm like, "It's a saw. I'd have to saw my finger to cut myself. I'm not going to cut myself." And then I cut myself twice. I'm like, "Okay, that's a sign. I'll wear the glove. Fine." So there is a groove here. What they've done when they glue it, they use a glue, very much like the E6000. That's what I'm going to use to glue it back together, where it cures the plastic together. It's not something you can melt with a blow dryer or anything like that. So I have to cut it open. And this is called an X-Acto saw. It's not a blade, it's a saw. And so I use the X-Acto saw because it gives me a nice clean line when I do it. Gabriel, what's up with that? Thanks for the follows. Thanks for sharing, Stardust. Everyone just joining, just know. Also, check it out later. Smithsonian Magazine wrote an article. I think is the link in here. I think the link is in my story on Instagram for sure. But Smithsonian Magazine wrote an article about Etch A Sketch and interviewed me for that. So very excited about that. That was released yesterday. Oh, excellent. I feel it. Halfway through cutting it open. R what, Nolan? Tell me. Nolan on TikTok says R, A-R-E. That's it. I think you're in the middle of saying something. You didn't quite get it. Nolan's a pirate. R. W. Riz says uh, is making me want to go get an Etch A Sketch, right? They still sell them if you're in the U.S. Any Target or Walmart will have it. Amazon, find them on eBay. Vince on TikTok says, "What are you doing this for?" I am preserving this drawing by cutting it open, and I'll clean out the inside so it won't erase. Big drawing that I'm preserving. This is a self-portrait that I drew. This is what I look like with my little crown on. I look like the Burger King. I am not the Burger King, but I look like him. You're cool. Yeah, you're going to see what's inside when I cut this open. That's for sure. It's going to take me a little while. I think what I'll do for your sake, for those of you who are patiently waiting, when I cut this one open, it's really easy for me to pop open and get this glass out. I can show you that before I cut this one up. Thanks for the follow, Nolan. I'm trying to hit 97,000 today on TikTok. Drop my YouTube microphone. Sorry, YouTube. Someone save my life tonight. All right. I think I shook it off. Hey, thanks, winning. Oh, thanks for the follow, Kenneth. Appreciate it. Man, it'd be great if I got to 97 by the end of this live. I'm only going to be live enough to open these two up, and then I'm going to stop to go wash them out. I dump them outside so I don't breathe the powder. Exactly. Ben F on TikTok says making thermite. Absolutely. I got shit to blow up. Absolutely. It's just not dinner. Yeah, Grobo. Because of course it's that's the first time I've heard that one. Technically the second time in his life, but Now, interesting about Breaking Bad, in the first episode where they do open up Etch A Sketches to make thermite, they aren't using actual Etch A Sketches. They actually, thanks, 30 seconds. They use like some generic one because then there's screws on the back. There's no screws on the back of an Etch A Sketch. And then in the last season, he's making the third thermite again, but they actually show a real Etch A Sketch cracked open. So I think they got permission for that last season. So the first time they make the thermite, it's not a real Etch A Sketch, but the second time they make thermite, it is. That's not the whole point of the book, I swear. It's just a point in the book. What is blue and smells like red paint? I don't know. Blue paint. Yeah, it's a blue paint to a colorblind person. Very nice. So Faye, on the small one, I'm going to go ahead after I cut the base. I'm going to cut it around the base on the inside too. I think that's the way I've learned not to spin those knobs by accident. I feel so bad about Ludo. And also Lisa's drawings were ruined too. Uh, Ren Rizzuto on TikTok asks, "How now does that art stay?" Yes, the powder sticks to this glass with static electricity, and it won't fall off. It'll just stay there. So after I cut it open, I'm going to set the drawing aside and clean it all out so the powder inside doesn't fill it out. You like it? Thanks, Bacon. If you ever make another one, it goes to Mother. I see. Thanks, Kelly. That is so neat. All right, let's keep going. Good to see you, Jason Bacon. Welcome, by the way. So yeah, I plan on then it's Etch a Sketch Day. I plan on 3 lives. Um, this live for cutting them open, a second live to glue them back together, and then a third live for drawing. It's Etch a Sketch Day. Deserves 3 lives. It is, Riz. This is the Mona Lisa. I'm going to show you the TikTok camera first of that. So yeah, I'm going to preserve it and add it to my famous painting collection. Draw an Etch a Sketch in the Etch a Sketch. I'm not taking requests, Gage, but I've definitely done that quite a few times. Everyone asks for that. Not everyone, but I get that a lot. Yeah, Big Bro asks, wait, sorry, why cut them in half? I'm preserving the drawings by cutting them open to take out the powder inside. When I glue it back together, I'm going to insert black poster board because when you scratch it off, you can see right through it. You can see the back of the Etch a Sketch inside. So with the black poster board, you won't see any of that. And it'll bring out the lines, make it stand out. Actually, Gage, if you're still on, this is an Etch a Sketch on an Etch a Sketch. Gage on YouTube says draw an Etch a Sketch in the Etch a Sketch. Here it is. There's an Etch a Sketch in the Etch a Sketch. Done. Thanks, Nolan. You're smart. Yeah, I've been drawing on the Etch a Sketch for 30 years. And so over the years, I've learned different techniques to preserve, and this is the best way to do it. This is a saw, not a blade. And so it makes a very fine, it's called an X-Acto saw. And it makes a very fine, straight line. So that way, as I take it apart, when I glue it back together, it's nice and clean. I don't need to cut up the inside of this Etch a Sketch because there's just a frame holding the glass. I can pop off the frame. We're good. One of your favorite creators. Hey, Johnny Johnson. Hold on, Johnny Johnson. You used to be. I forget now your old username, but hi, welcome back. How does it not match it? Because you really have to turn it over and shake it for the powder to fill it in. W Riz on TikTok. So, Big Bad Wolf. Thank you very much, Johnny Johnson. I knew it. Spent hours blacking it. Right? I've got one of those here. Someone said oh shoot. Sorry, YouTube. Knock your mic over. 30 seconds on. Oh goodness. Oh, I might have to. I just tipped this over, and I made a little poof on here. Here's my. I scratched this one out in 20 minutes. Now I'm not taking any requests. Oh man, I don't know if I can scratch this off again. The mechanism inside's all wonky. Snikes. I might have to do it again. Shoot. I went to catch the microphone. That's what did it. I dropped the microphone. Hey, Gogita. Who's Jeffy? All right. Can at least try before getting a new one to scratch off. Yeah. Well, I started to, and I got some of it off, but see, it's got that poof, and now I'll see if I can figure it out. I've got some of it off, but it's not going any more to the right. Oh well. Naffy Dove is back. That's who. Is what hard? Johnny Johnson. It's a smash ball now. I guessed who was back. It's Naffy Dove. Bad Wolf is gone. The Saw thing. Oh, is it hard? Yeah, not really. It just takes time, but it's worth it. It gives a nice clean line. You're just now following 30 seconds. Thank you so much for that follow. Trying to get to 97,000 on TikTok today. Today is Etch A Sketch Day, 65th anniversary of the Etch A Sketch, and I'm hoping to get to 97,000 followers today. I noticed in the article they linked to my YouTube, they linked to my website, but they didn't link to TikTok. I don't know if they couldn't, if they weren't allowed to, but they mentioned TikTok. They mentioned I go live. I was in an article on Smithsonian Magazine. They wrote about the Etch A Sketch for the anniversary. Caleb Flores says, "What are you doing?" I'm cutting this open so I can preserve the drawing by cleaning out all the insides of it that erase drawings. Here we go. Finishing touches on this side, and I have one side left. Oh, that felt good. I could feel it. Could feel it give. Last side. Here we go. If you got, yeah, there is actually a seam right here. Oh, I have a Dremel, Caleb Flores. I've tried a Dremel. In the very beginning, I tried a Dremel. It melts the plastic and bubbles it up, and so I have bought a different blade to try, but I got to find my Dremel. But no, anything electric, the friction melts the plastic, and this gives it a nice clean line. Believe me, I've tried many different methods. I've been doing it this way for about a decade, and this is the best way. I even tried newer ways. I like bought a heated blade, same thing. Melts, it's messy, it's just not worth it. This gives me a nice clean cut. So yeah, there is a seam here that I'm cutting through. The glue they use to put it together cures the plastic together. And so I have to cut it because it won't melt with a blow dryer. It's not that kind of glue. A syringe with water, drop in plastic slowly as you cut. Yeah, that sounds like more. That sounds like more of a challenge than I want to do. B. Yeah, they really glue it shut. Yeah, yeah, that sounds like more effort than it's worth. How can we doing that? Doing surgery, right? B. Fantastic. That's great to hear. But no, that just seems like too much effort. This is much easier just to sit here and saw. If I'm not ripping and chatting, this takes like 12 minutes. It's not that big a deal. Right. But I bought a blade that people say won't melt the plastic, but then I need to mount it. So, because then the other thing with the Dremel is I need to make sure it gives me a clean line. You have to make sure the blade is straight. That's a challenge in itself. A bandsaw. See, well, first of all, I don't have a bandsaw, but no, a bandsaw would also, then you have the risk of it cutting. Oh, Merry Christmas. There's green screen just fell. The bandsaw, you have a risk of cutting the wires inside, which would ruin the drawing, which I've done before. Maximum profit, maximum effort. Sure, Kev, I like that. I've missed your live stream. Yeah. I'm going to be drawing later today. I'm going to be doing 3 lives. This one where I cut them open. Then I'm going to come back after I wash them out to glue them back to get son of a bitch. All right. Let's just drink that aside. All right. I'll come back later to glue them back together. And then I'll come back later to do drawings for fun. That's what I like to do. These just happen to be drawings, very important drawings that I want to preserve. Self-portrait and the Mona Lisa. How long does it take to sketch? This was a 10-hour drawing, although I did it 1 hour at a time. This was a 10-hour drawing. The Mona Lisa that I'm preserving today, this is an hour and 25-minute drawing that I did during a live. Am I building an Etch A Sketch? No, I'm taking it apart, trash. Should make world's largest Etch A. Well, I can't build Etch A Sketches. I can only take them apart. So Gage on YouTube says you should make a world's largest Etch A Sketch or draw on one. They do have larger Etch A Sketches, I believe. I have Michael. Michael Galaxy. You got me. Someone had just said that though. Welcome, my friend. Someone actually just said I should buy one. I was telling Faye I didn't get my bingo card out. So yeah, anybody who's just joined and they're confused, me. Have you ever made a mistake drawing that you couldn't recover from and start over? Mm, there was one drawing where I was maybe 2 hours into it and started over. That's the longest that I've started over. Most of the time, there's three things, 3 ways to fix a mistake. First one is start over, right? That was awesome. That was you got me, Michael. You totally got me. I saw the post before I saw who it was. Three things to do if I make a mistake. One is you start over. Two is I retrace the line. I can correct something because you can push the powder around while you're drawing. As you're scraping the powder off, you can push the powder around. So redrawing the line, I can try to cover up that mistake. The third option is I just hope there's enough going on in the drawing that you don't notice the mistake. That's all. Thanks for the follow, Nin. I am so close to getting to 97,000 followers on TikTok. I'm hoping to make that goal today on Etch A Sketch Day. The day is the 65th anniversary of the Etch A Sketch. Very excited. Oh, thanks for the follows, everybody. Bonneville Smith. You got John, you got Roya, Abby Fake, you got Mason, you've got Bobby Smith, you got Pabril and Nano. That's awesome. Thank you all. Last I looked this morning, I was 130 followers, I believe, or 120, one of those two. How did you end up fixing the mistake on the eye you're cutting open now? I don't remember the mistake I made. Oh, you mean the Mona Lisa? I did the half shake, and then when I retraced it, I tried making smaller eyes. Because I did the half shake on this one. Halfway through, I shook it, shaked it. There's my proper English for the day. The shirt line. Oh, right, the shirt line. That's a great example because this is a mistake right here. This line is a mistake here, as well as there's a mistake line here. But then with the pattern, I drew over it, and you'll never know it. Stop proper, but you stop proper English. Umbau, umbau, John Umbau. How about that? Umbau, umball. All right. Is it an actual L sound? Umball. Excellent. John A. Umball, welcome. How do you get them to stay and not erase? The powder will stay at the bottom as long as I don't turn them over and shake them, and then the powder just sticks to the glass forever. I have some drawings that I've had for decades. I've been drawing on the Etch A Sketch for 30 years. I've got one that's from 97. Someone do the math on that. 97, that's that's 28 years. I've got a drawing that's 28 years old, and it still looks as good as 28 years ago. That's my oldest drawing. Someone asked that earlier. What's my oldest drawing? It's 28 years old. This is my last side to cut. Then we're going to pop it open. Why, thank you, John A. Umball. So yeah, my normal lives is drawing on the pocket size, taking requests and drawing for fun. It's how I relax. This is not a relaxing process, but necessary for preserving. It gets a lot of attention. Back when you was drilling them and taking the powder out, that's right. 28 years ago, I drilled and drained them. Have you ever seen the inside of Etch A Sketch? Cannot wait. Oh, fantastic. Okay, then I better not stop cutting. Inside of love. Actually, making some progress on this. So close. No, I haven't heard a clamp say today. 12 minutes if he's not live and chatting. That's so true. Yeah, thanks for answering that, Mashago. It's not a razor. This is actually, is that a razor? This is an X-Acto saw. Oh, that's a great question, Caleb. This is an X-Acto saw with little tiny teeth, so it's cutting it open. It's not a blade. Caleb Flores on TikTok says, "Where's your starting point when you start a sketch?" When I'm drawing these large drawings, hey, Bacon on TikTok. Nope, YouTube. I keep getting this confused. The question is, where do I start point? When I'm drawing these big drawings, look, I'm stopping. Sorry, everyone. I draw a frame on the outside to start with, and then work my way in, and then I do whatever's closest to the background, to the initial drawing. When I'm shading, I go from the background to the foreground. So on this drawing, I did the frame here, and then I went to the top of the crown and drew my head. That was how I started this drawing. When I'm doing my live drawings, here's the last drawing I did. When I do a live drawing on these little ones, I will start with. Thanks for the answer there, Michael. I'll start like where the face is. I'll move the stylus to where it's going to be, erase it, and then start the drawing. All right, people are waiting to see the inside. I think I'll stop stopping. Getting a blister. Sometimes I do. Although I'm only cutting two. This is a big one and a little one. It won't take as long. So close. So close. I can't believe oh, right. There, felt it. All right, here we go. This song is rearranged by Limp Bizkit. Well, hello, Darko. Been a while. I feel it's a little stuck on this one. You know what? Let's hold on. Let me clean up a little bit. You know what? I'm just going to saw. Hold on. That's good there. How about over here? Ah, are you ready? Very nice. Anyone possibly able to? Oh, that's nice. Thank you, Michael. All right, here we go. There it is. Red frame, like I said, it's just a shell around the box. Ooh. Ah, wow. Now I'm going to clean up a little bit. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Then I'm going to go ahead and so many tiny. Yes, I got a lot of Etch A Sketches. These all have drawings on them. You can't see. Oh yeah, you can see them. Hold on. Let me brush this off. Then I'm going to get my little my Etch A vacuum. Carefully set this aside. It's my handy dandy Etch A Sketch vacuum. All right. Now, what's crazy is you don't hear the vacuum on YouTube. Loud on TikTok, but you can't hear it on YouTube. There we go. There we go. Now, let's grab a couple screwdrivers. And I don't mean orange juice and vodka. Yeah. So, first, let me pop this out. It's what's outside temperate now. Um, oh, 107 right now in Las Vegas. I live in Las Vegas. It is 107 degrees. Nice and hot. I was out a little while ago and I came in. I'm like, ooh, I was ready to draw or start preserving. And I'm like, oh no, I need to sit and cool off for a bit. Yes, Miss Shoga. Hot indeed. Let me hover over. What does this say? It still says 96.9 for. Okay. So, what I was saying earlier is this has a plastic screen on top. Now, what I do is when I'm done preserving, I actually don't put this plastic screen back on top. I can't get under here. Definitely, Darko. Seems like your kids are all grown, so you probably sketch for 10 hours. Oh, wait, able to. Well, I do 1 hour at a time. Hey, my wife and I got married in Las Vegas as well, but it was 23 years ago, almost 24. Great job, Kev. Kev. That's my name, Kevin. So, yeah, this is the plastic coat. If the glass were to break, this keeps it from hurting the consumer. But I'm not going to put it back on because it creates kind of a glare that I don't like. I need to take off these. There's these little foam pads, rings. I'm going to take them off and set them aside so I don't lose them. So I'll need them later as part of the padding. Over 20 years, that's right. There's that. There's that. All right. So the way this frame works, it's holding the glass in place. There's a trench, a plastic trench all the way around in which, and here's these pegs also. There's a plastic trench all the way around that's it's glued into place. And again, it's the kind of glue you can't use a blow dryer on. So all I do is get a screwdriver under here and pry it up. The cracking is very satisfying to me. Um, but I'm able to snap that out. Eventually I get under here, get a good grip. Let's try over here. Ah, making myself nervous. I don't want to stab myself with a screwdriver. Not out. So after this live, I'm actually gonna, before I wash it out, wash these drawings out, I'm going to post my full time lapse. It's a 1 minute time lapse of drawing this self portrait. I'll post that after. And then right before I go live, I'll post my Google search. I like to Google search Etch A Sketch art and Etch A Sketch artists once in a while, just so I can see where I land in that search. And yesterday I Googled Etch A Sketch artist. It gave the definition of an Etch A Sketch artist. And then it said notable Etch A Sketch artists, and it listed five, and I was in that five. I was thrilled. I mean, they listed somebody who's did it in the 80s. So, I mean, it was like the history of Etch A Sketch artists, and I'm in the top five notable Etch A Sketch artists. Very excited. Safety first. That's right, Darko. And now I'm going to stop looking at the chat so I'm safe. But it's easier. Once I get it going, this is easier than trying to cut it open. That's for sure. And then it's bending the plastic a little bit, but it doesn't matter because this is the part that's hidden. There we go. I hear. Ah, beautiful. There we go. See, once I get the hang of it, snaps right up. Crackling is very satisfying. Probably because the article, it could be. Yeah, from the article. Because now I'm in the search engine. Because I did search before the article was out yesterday. In the morning, I searched Smithsonian Magazine, Etch A Sketch, and it showed an article from 20 years ago. So I know that would. I'm very excited about that exposure. There we go. Now I got this side going. So y'all are about to see. So then I got to be careful because it literally is the glass is not glued into place at all. I'm very happy that they started doing that. Thanks, man. Thanks, Luke. So right now I'm removing a frame that's holding the glass with the drawing in place. So what I'm going to do is then I'll carefully take the glass out. I'm going to set it aside in a safe place and then continue to preserve the inside. So you're about to see the inside of an Etch A Sketch. You hang out. Then once I open this up and set the drawing aside, I will remove the drawing mechanism that's inside. And then I'm going to cut this one open, pause the lives to go wash them out because I don't dump out the powder inside. Powder inside is aluminum powder, but it's very fine aluminum powder that I don't want to be breathing. Not healthy to breathe aluminum powder. It's so satisfying, King. It's satisfying doing it because I hear the little crackle. Should we have a little SMR? ASMR? SMR. A little ASMR. Here, let me see. I don't know if it'll pick up on the YouTube camera or microphone. It's more. I have, Mark, actually accidentally erased more like when I was preserving one. I used a clamp because people kept saying, why don't you use a clamp? So I tried using a clamp and I cracked the glass. Oh, and I cracked the glass on a separate one too. Joker, I think I have that one here. No, I don't. Oh, here's my persistence of memory. This is the melting clocks drawing. So this is what I'm going to end up doing with, that is Jamie in the background. She's downstairs in the kitchen. Um, so that's what I'll end up doing with my Mona Lisa drawing. I'm going to put it in a shadow box. It's for my own collection at this point. I'll get a really good picture of it. Oh no, it broke. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Talking about the Wi-Fi, is she? Right? Just going to shake away. As long as it doesn't drop off the table, it'll be fine because gravity keeps the powder on the ground, on the bottom of it. So as long as the powder that's inside doesn't touch the glass on top, we're okay. So now I'm gonna come from this direction. I turned off the music so we can hear the crackling. I don't hear it very much. There it was. That's the sound I love so much. All right, we're gonna turn the music back on. So this. Thank you very much, Money Man. This is the I was scared you were gonna shake it away. Yeah, oh, I just read that. So yeah, so now you can see there's bits of the plastic that are still in this trench, but that's fine. It'll all line up when I glue it back together. I'm gonna set that aside up here. So now this is actually probably the coolest part, my favorite part. I think I'll take some pictures before I glue it back together. I like to do that of the back side of the glass. So watch this. There we go. So you're scratching the powder off, which means, hold on just a second. Let me turn my room light off. That's better. Now you can see through it. Look at that. So cool. So it just shows that when I'm drawing, you're actually scratching the powder off that's on the back of the glass. This is one of the coolest parts of preservation. Look at that. So this is why when I glue it back together, I'm going to insert a black poster board so you don't see the back of the Etch A Sketch through the drawing. You're welcome. I'm about to go set this aside though. Let me go set this aside safely. And then I'll show off the inside. Everything okay? Hmm. That's why I was comfortable shaking the framed Etch A Sketch. Exactly right. When I was showing you, here's one again of Deadpool. There's a Deadpool drawing, but yeah, this one's been preserved, so I could even open this and turn the knobs, and it'd be fine. What is the main objective? Oh, I'm gonna clean all this out. I do draw on paper. I do. In fact, most of my large drawings, I draw it in pencil before I actually do the drawing. But here we go. So this is how it works. You've got an X and Y axis. Oh, basically like fossils. Sure, Darko. Have you ever thought of preserving the glass inside the shadow box? Preserving the glass inside the shadow box. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Machado. So yeah. So I've just learned that my mind can think of the lines I want to draw, and my hands just make it happen. Yeah, well, I don't have the tools or like I can't mold to make my own Etch A Sketch. But yeah, you're right. You could use this powder. So what you're looking at here is very fine aluminum powder inside. And these beads that you see are actually plastic beads. That's not the aluminum. These are itty bitty plastic beads. That's what helps spread the powder on the glass when you turn over and shake it. Papa Mia, I have actually inserted. So Papa Maya, Papa Mia. Anyway, it would be sweet to have a light behind it, is what they said. I have actually, um, I have actually inserted LED lights inside some of my drawings for an effect. I'm back. Something just happened. Okay. All right. Like taking just the glass pick out instead of putting back together. Oh, so in other words, now that I've got that glass, do something with the glass by itself. Don't put it back in the Etch A Sketch. While we're in this, let me share because I've learned how the Etch A Sketch works. Um, I made this one where I cut it in half, but I didn't keep the bottom and I glued it back together. So this is a playing card. It's the Queen of Hearts. And then this is the back of the playing card. This is the first time I tried this. I like to experiment because I've done the lighting, inserted lighting. Here's an experiment when I made a two-sided one. That's a very interesting thought, Darko. I would just have to make sure that if I did put it in something, it's not a bad idea. I just have to figure out how would I insert, or no, Machago, I'm sorry. Um, I would have to figure out what would I put it in that would keep the drawing safe. Sharpie the wheels black. I could paint them. What's Teresa saying? Oh, what I didn't see what Teresa said. C said. Teresa C. I can barely draw a flower. What did Teresa C say? Thanks for follow, wrong way. I don't see Teresa C's comment. Oh, wait, there it is. Do I draw on paper? Oh, yeah, I did answer that one. I did answer that one. The bacon, what's going on? Is there something? All right. Let's pause there and let's cut this one open. Let's set these screwdrivers aside. Um, in a moment. Because once we start taking the mechanics out, it gets a little messy. Ever tried making out of wood and stain it the color with color and alcohol? I haven't. I'm not much of a woodworker. Hey, J. Air, what are we doing today? I'm preserving. If you read the description, J. Air, I'm preserving these two drawings. I just cut open my self-portrait and now sleeping. Right, Money Man? Um, oh, well, thank you very much. Yeah, no, you got some great questions. Yeah, I'm not much of a woodworker, but that would be pretty cool to have a frame made out of wood that's a replica of an Etch A Sketch and glue the glass inside of that. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Now this I have to be careful because the edge of this doesn't have as much of a groove as the other one did. Let me bring that one back in because it seems pretty empty by itself here. That's a point of interest here. There we go. People will dig that. What's preserving? That means when I'm done with it, you won't be able to erase the drawing. Where are those sticks as you move the tip around? Wait, where are those sticks going? Oh, so they stay in place. Basically, they slide. There's holes that these sticks go through. The sticks are just going up and down, left and right, and it's making the stylus slide along this. So let's do it this way. That's a hole, and it's just sliding on the sticks. That's all. You see what I'm saying? Was that improving what? Any? What? I'm not sure what you're asking, Brain can't comprehend. Yeah, so it is an axis, exactly, Darko. So it's just a hole that it's sliding on those sticks. Yeah, now you can see. Are you improving, Annie? Okay, sure. I'm not sure what you're asking, really. All right, let's cut this one open. Can you see this? Can you see this? We sure can. We can all see it. Focus for a minute. I need to find the groove. This is a saw, not a blade. Oh, you know what I need? Why are you confused, JR? What are you confused about? Bacon, you went from number three to number two to number one. That's fantastic. So the science of it is the powder sticks to the glass with static electricity. You scratch off the powder with the stylus, bing, 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 and then you turn it over and shake it. The powder inside fills in the lines. So what I'm doing is cutting them open I'm going to remove this drawing mechanism. I'm going to wash out all that powder. So when I glue it back together, you could shake it, you could turn the knobs, and it won't ruin the drawing. It'll be preserved forever. So I'm preserving my self-portrait that I just finished and this Mona Lisa that I did recently. So my normal lives, I do take requests and do drawings on the... So you make it bigger? No, I'm not making anything bigger. Thanks, Thornberries, said Mona Lisa. Now you're number one fan. Exactly. There you go. I get asked to do the Mona Lisa so many times. I've drawn it, I think 3 or 4 times. I actually sold a Mona Lisa drawing that I had done before, but it wasn't as good as this one is. This one, I posted it this morning, actually, the time lapse on my accounts. On YouTube, I posted it both as a Princess Etch says she just cuts all the way through. I wonder if I can just cut it all the way through in one fell swoop. Article, Smithsonian Magazine wrote an article about the Etch A Sketch and interviewed me, but they also, in the article, shared my video showing my preservation process with the, and there you go. All right. Oh, I just knocked my glasses. If I cut all the way through, then I... So yeah, holding it on the edge is easier for me for cutting. Kind of makes me a little nervous. I don't want to drop it. And we'll do the same thing with this one. I'll show you through the drawing. Seriously impressive skills. Thank you so much. Why am I cutting my Mona Lisa? Because, baha, I'm going to preserve it. So it won't erase. I'm going to preserve it and frame it. So today we'll be cutting open, taking out the mechanism inside. I'll stop my live and go wash it out, and then I'll come back live to glue it back together, both of these. And the other one is the large one that you see opened up. That was my self-portrait. This is not going straight. Be careful. It is the top. All right, well, my cut wasn't going straight. All right, so I'm going to come from this side and see if I can correct that. Plastic's a very soft plastic, so sawing it, this is a saw, not a blade. Sawing it is fairly easy. No, William Sully says, does the shaking from the sawing impact the quality? No. If I do If it kicks up a little powder, it's okay, but you really have to turn it over and shake it for it to erase. Seems like the extra motion during the cutting of saw. Oh, that's what you just said. No, well, you said something similar. If you draw on the screen there, you can have two saws working at once. Draw a saw on the screen. I see what you did there, firmly guy. I see what you did there. That's some funny stuff. I draw a saw on the screen and saw. There'd be two saws working at once. Here we go. I am three-fourths of the way around this one. This one's going a lot faster. I guess it makes sense since it's a lot smaller. I'm just making sure it's stylus. Big Lecky, what? It causes plastic to melt. All right, thank you very much for answering that. Is this part of preserving it? Absolutely. I'm cutting it over to, let's see here. I've explained many times, but I'm more than happy to go ahead. I'm now catching up on some of the questions. Right. Okay. The Dremel will melt the plastic. I've tried the Dremel. I've actually been preserving this way for a decade. I've tried many different methods. I've been drawing on the Etch A Sketch for 30 years, preserving for 28 years. And this is the best and cleanest method of preserving. The um, the Dremel bubbles up. Where's the cut? That's a pretty clean cut. The Dremel bubbles up the plastic and makes it look really messy, as well as you got to cut a straight line. So this is a saw. This is called an X-Acto saw. To preserve the drawing, which is what I'm doing, I'm cutting it open. I'm going to wash out all this powder, remove the drawing mechanism. Say new cut around what? I have more. What? Yes, I'm making thermite. I got shit to blow up. That was Back to the Future in the background. Robbie, you get 1,000 points for guessing that. Faye gets this one. Yes, beautiful people. I see you. I see you. It's true. I'm not really looking at the chat because I'm getting through this really quickly. So I use an X-Acto saw because it's a nice clean cut and I can get a straight cut out of it. And then I remove the drawing mechanism and clean out the powder, glue it back together, and you can shake it. You can turn the knobs and it won't ruin the drawing. I got pneumonia on Monday. Oh man, Baja. That's a bummer. Well, it's not right, Darko. It's not. It's called an X-Acto blade, or excuse me. It's called an X-Acto saw. This is an X-Acto saw. There are little teeth, itty bitty teeth on it. So it's not a blade. I'm actually using it as a saw. It is a saw. So I'm sawing it off open. I'm trying to get through both layers, both the inner box and the red shell at the same time, instead of having to cut it twice. Measure twice, cut once, even though I'm not measuring. These are the only two I'm cutting open today. How long have I been live? 73 minutes. Look at that. Yeah, the whole process is about an hour and a half to preserve an Etch A Sketch. Worth it in the end. I don't do it a lot. I am going to experiment with other methods. I still experiment, but every time I experiment, it flops, and I go back to Old Faithful, which is this. Almost done. We're going to see the insides of a pocket Etch A Sketch and the backside of this drawing. The marks. Man, I wrote that for these. All right, let's see. Let's see how well I've done so far. It is very possible to mess up the sketch, yeah. One of the concerns I have, especially if I've used a Dremel, another concern with using the Dremel is I've cut the wires on the inside by mistake, and the wires have hit the glass and ruined the drawing. I'm trying to get this surprise. There we go. Mm, not quite. As I've been walking around, I think I need to make a round with the blade. I can feel it is loose, but it's not quite done. Start here. Crazy that this one made less of a mess than the big one. Not really crazy. All right, let's try this. Uh, your he Okay, Legend 33 on TikTok says you're re-inning the Echo H reusable. Yes. I have no idea what that means. Yes, that's what I'm doing. See, if I had done this with the Joker, I wouldn't have broken the glass. I tried to actually remove the glass. It's glued in place with my drawing of the Joker. What are you? Radio says, what you doing? Not sure. You mean, haven't you been here when I cut these open, Radio? I'm preserving my Etch A Sketch drawings. Have you not seen me do that before? So I'm cutting it open. Hmm. Something's not quite cut through, and I'm not sure what it is. Maybe this. That doesn't feel like it's all the picture. Huh. Doesn't shake it. No, it doesn't shake. As long as I don't turn it over and shake it, I think only when you shake it hard. Yeah, if you turn it over and shake it, that's when the powder fills in the lines. But see here how the powder is here? So let's pretend there's a drawing on here. I'm shaking this one, but all the powder is staying on the bottom. It's not touching the glass. Ooh, that reminds me. I'm going to take out. Hold on. Oh, I just got powder on here. My glove. I remove this while I'm thinking about it. I don't want to lose this. Yeah. Now I need to clean that up. Where's my wipes? Give me a second. I need to clean up some of this powder off my finger. So this, try yellow pontoon column sub. Hmm. This is how fine the actual aluminum powder is. Let's get that. So the powder itself is very fine. The beads you see here are The beads you see are plastic beads that help spread that out. It's a flight point. Shit. Oh, that's not going to help. One moment, please. Is that kind of a Legend 33? Is that kind of a like a melting agent? Car carcinogenic. It well, I don't want to really breathe this or eat it. It's aluminum powder. So yeah, aluminum is not really something you want to breathe or eat. Although I'm not going to get sick from this as long as I'm washing my hands. The instructions on the back, the Etch A Sketch, non-toxic, wash your hands. That's what the instructions are. But definitely not something I want to breathe or ingest. So that's why after I cut them open, I will be going outside to dump it out and then wash it out, um, so I don't breathe it. But for now, I'm just cutting them open. Yay, bacon's number one. How does the powder stick to it? It's actually, Jacob, it's static electricity. It's as simple as that. Just as it's sticking to my fingers, it just stays there. It's static electricity. Wait, an Etch A Sketch screen is glass. Yes, that's because there's a plastic coating over top. That in case the glass were to break, um, it protects you from getting cut. It holds it holds the glass in. But yeah, part of the science is the fact that it's glass that that the aluminum powder sticks to. I can tell it's not cut all the way through on this side. That's why. And if you're worried about breathing, just use a mask. Exactly. I will be wearing a mask when I dump it out. What I used to do with these pockets is I would cut the red frame off and then cut the insides. So what I'm doing now is actually trying to cut all the way through so it'll just lift off and be ready for what cleaning out. I can tell it's not all the way through on this side. I used to not wear gloves, but then I cut myself. Nunya, I'm cutting it to preserve the drawing. I'm going to clean out the inside so when I glue it back together, the drawing that I've done won't erase. What I'm holding now is a drawing of the Mona Lisa. This is actually my second drawing of the Mona Lisa to preserve, but I sold the first one and it was not as detailed as this one. Whoop. Sorry, YouTube. Keep shaking my table, so I keep shaking the mic off the table. It's all good. All right, let's try this again. Yeah, now it's getting a little more. All right, this side's done. Let's try it over here. Oh, well, thank you, Jacob Jew. I posted this drawing that I'm propping open now was of the Mona Lisa. I posted this time-lapse video this morning on my accounts. This isn't all the way over. It's not all the way through over here. This side's not all the way through. There it is. There it is. All right. To frame and preserve it, yeah. Thanks, Erica. Tis in the description of my life. Preserving two of my drawings, two of my recent drawings. There we go. Oh, that's satisfying. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Glass company replaced saved powder and other powders might work. Not sure what you're saying. I think I've got it. Let's see. I've got three of the sides for sure. Oh, there we go. That's satisfying. Felt the snap. Oh, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, nice. Here we go. So this is my first time to actually cut all the way through the first round. Oh, come on. There we go. There we go. Ooh, that'll be fun. Got a little mess to clean up there. So here we go. Wooden paper eliminate a lot of what? A lot of work? I think you're trying to be sarcastic to say drawing it on paper. See, but drawing it on paper, then I wouldn't be able to reuse it. There it is. There she is, the Mona Lisa without the insides. I can see it better. It's so cool. Look at that. Very cool. All right. I'm going to set this drawing aside now. That girl? I could only memories. I'm thrilled that I was able to get it all off in one cut. So I'm going to clean off my gloves. I'm going to find my own. Oh, here's my gloves. Hold on. Cleaning my gloves off. All the powder on them. Oh, I need to get a paper towel. And I need to get my inner storage. One moment. Inner storage. So, I don't know what I'm going to use these for. I always wanted to. Well, there you go, Frankie. Looks like glass carving painting. That's why they call it a sketch. Etch a sketch, because you're sketching on the back of the glass. So this is my collection of innards. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but these are all the, this is what the stylus looks like after it's cleaned off. It's this very fine point, and here's the bars. And then this is what it looks like on the pocket size, is this little plastic thing. There we go. These are actually 3D printed knobs that I've made experimenting. The more recent knobs are made of recycled plastic, and so sometimes they'll break. So I'm going to take them out, clean them, and put them in that container. I'll need this. Let me clear off some space. Thanks for the follow, Ryan Barry. Let's do that. Then I'll have to clear off my table when I'm done too. You. Give me a sec. All right, there's that. Oh, let's clean this off. Glass company, more plates. So legendary. Say I could use a glass company to make larger. This drawing relaxes me, and it's a hobby. I'm not going to go make an effort to build something. It's a nice hobby, but if there's something that I don't know, I'm not going to go out of my way to try to. Then I'd have to figure out the whole logistics of the innards and this mechanism inside. Same size. Why would I do that? You're right. Thanks for educational. This is my handy dandy Etch A Sketch vacuum. Etch a vacuum. Why would I need another glass? Same size. Oh, I needed my paper towel. I didn't get them. Let's open this. All right, let's do this. So I'm going to keep these rods because this is what you mount the. Hold on. Let's switch some things around so YouTube can see it. Go. Make more pics a lot. So, like, I would replace this with a new glass for a new picture. Hmm. There's that. There we go. I see. But then what would I do with the other glass? Put it in a frame like we were talking about? It's a very interesting idea. I follow you now. I understand what you're saying. But yeah, it just seems like a lot of work. Have you thought about a split screen one? What do you mean? You said split, right? It's kind of cut off a little bit. Or split screen. What do you mean by split screen, Darko? See, it's when I take it apart, when you know how this works, that's when you can have ideas of suggestions. A lot of people are like, oh, they should make it in color. Well, clearly you can see they can't make a color one. You're not drawing, you're scratching off the powder. I do have etch a sketches with gold powder inside. Or I put color backdrops and light it on the inside, but you can't make the powder different colors because it's not separated. Like how it's one screen but two boxes. So like this, Darko, where I've made a two-sided Etch A Sketch, where it's the Queen of Hearts and then the backing of the Queen of Hearts. Is that what you mean? Like what I did? No, like in the middle. Oh, so like two levels, like a shadow box. I made a shadow box, but not with two different glasses. That's interesting. That is very interesting because I could do one drawing, like on this Etch A Sketch. and cut the back off completely, like I did with those pockets. Cut the back off completely and glue this one on top of the other one and have a light inside the bottom one. That's brilliant, Darko. I love it. Actually, I might have to do that someday. That is very possible. See, again, when you know how it works, you can make honest suggestions. Right on, usable. Right. That's interesting. But I don't know what I would do the original glass drawing there, Legend. These baby wipes aren't very wet. All right, let me throw the wire away. Ah. That's a crazy thought. Now I'm curious. You know what I want to do? I want to get a light. I think I'm going to do this. Darko, hang out. Because you go, well, hey there, Evil Blue, you're new. This is not a standard. This is YouTube I'm talking to. I'm on TikTok as well. But that one Evil Boo showed up on YouTube saying, hello, I'm new. This is not a typical live of mine. I'm preserving a couple of my drawings, so I've cut them open. Um, I will draw later in a live, but not this one. Oh, so what I'd like to try in this live, I'm going to put this aside. This is very delicate because the powder is right there. I've got a box lid for just such an occasion. I have a box lid that I use for transporting my drawings for preserving. But yeah, that one needs to be very carefully carried. Do, 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 do. Glass. All right. Um, so I think what I'm going to do, shoot, I really don't want to risk it because I don't know what it would look like to have the bottom one to see the two drawings lit up because there's some parts you would see through and some parts you wouldn't. So I'm curious about using these two drawings that I just cut open since I have the two glasses. I could have a light at the bottom. So I can figure out how to do that. Oh, I know exactly what I'll do. And I want to look at them like this to see what it would look like. No, no, no. We're going to do it this time. I'm going to go ahead and finish my preservation or like cutting. I'm going to finish cutting this open. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, I've got a light box. I'm going to set a light box here. It's just a LED flat one. Then I'm going to take the two drawings, the pocket size I can set on top of it and not worry about the drawing, but then hold the glass of my self portrait over it and see what it looks like in like that. Yeah, I wish these wipes were a little wetter. All right, but I need to cut this out now. This one I can't remove as easily. I need to cut the wires, and then it gets a little messy. So now, Darko, you hang out because I'm going to try your theory. I'm very curious about it. This is going to get a little messy here, kids. There we go. There's this one. Hold on. That's nice. Although I want to get rid of the wire off this rod. There we go. Wire is off the rod. All right, and that wire is trash. Might take that trash out. This one's not quite loose enough. Well, there we go. There we go. That made a little poof. Let's not breathe that in, kids. Yo, imagine changing the powder with different color powder. They actually, the evil blue. Oh, that's awesome. You're already talking about suggestions. I do have a couple of Etch A Sketches that the powder inside was gold. And I did save some of that gold powder. I don't normally save the powder that's inside. What is attached? This is attached. So let's do that. All right, my innards are now detached. Let's get rid of this wire. Uh, Pull it sideways. There we go. This one is all ready to wash out. Dump out and wash out, but I won't do that here. I'll do that outside. This is really messy. I might have to go wash my hands. Not just. Let's do this. I'm going to set this on the box lid. Let's clean these off. Like that. Let's see if there's enough wetness to clean this off. So pretty. So this is the stylus inside the Etch A Sketch. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go clean my hands, and then we're going to go get very curious about that experiment. All right, I'm going to go. Let me put this. There we go. I'm going to go wash my hands and come right back. Let me actually clean this up a little more. I feel like I need to leave something here of interest to look at. While I step away. I don't think that's enough. Let me get up. Actually, if I use a white wipe, I'll let that dry. You still with me, Darko? Do I need these scissors? I will later. All right, good. So I'm going to go ahead and prepare ahead of time. I've actually done a pretty good job cleaning my hands. I don't know. Maybe I'll just set a couple of these up. Points of interest while I'm away. All right, give me a second. I'm going to wash my hands. Okay. And let's put these guys back. Give you a better view. Now I gotta find a USB port. I think I can use maybe this one. Yeah, without interrupting YouTube live. Well, I'll find the USB port. Hey, thanks for the follows, my sweet drag time. And then I'll flip my. Oh, okay. Had the cable upside down. Hate that when that happens. Here we go. Let's do it this way. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on, so bear with me. All right. So, the first one, now technically, I think I would have started with, look at that. Here's our Mona Lisa. Oh, that is so cool. Zoom in. Sorry, that's sideways. Oh, well, why don't I just fix that for you? What about, hold on. This in itself looks cool. I'm going to do this for so long. Look at that. That is so cool. I'm right. Glow in the dark, right? So then the glass is facing down. So let's see. Oh, see now, okay, well, let's get rid of the top light because we want to see what the two look like. Okay, let's just find a place that's really scratched off. How cool is that? Okay, but now we have to, well, it would depend on what's in there. Like a mirror inside a mirror, right? So depending on what I were to draw, that is so weird. That is insane. All right, now I got to figure out how would I use that? All right, I'm going to go safely put my self-portrait down. All right. That is bizarre. What would I do? I'll have to think about it. All right, I gotta put this back. Now I gotta clean that up. If you know someone, please tell me. One moment. Now I'm just doing some cleanup. That is super cool, Darko. Glad you suggested that. Turn on that. Hi, everybody. All right, I am going to stop this live, and this is what it looks like on my YouTube. Although on YouTube, it was without me, like this. This is what it looked like. I had two different camera shots. I'm using my Etch A Cam. Baby, Hold on. There. Using my Etch A Cam for this other shot over here, the blue. So that's it. I'm going to go wash these out and come back to glue them back together at some point. So, and maybe 20, 30 minutes, I'll be back to glue them back together. All right. Bye. KRP.